supposed hauntings. They also had some input in some of the movies. I didn't realize that. Oh my God. I just thought I heard something. My son reckons his house is haunted, so it's like, no one's here. It's just me. Did you guys hear that? Can you hear that? So creepy. Anyway, perfect for this story. So Ed was a self-taught demon. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kate, and here on my channel I talk about true crime stories. Please remember to show your support by liking this podcast, subscribing to my YouTube channel, and hitting the notification bell so that you never miss out on any of my future videos. Also, I have teamed up with a brand called Broken Society. They've got some really cute clothes. They're basically like a little bit spooky, but completely adorable. They even have stuff for children, which I think is absolutely amazing because I'm a mum and the little goblin t-shirt is so cute. I really want to get it for my son. Oh, and also to top it all off, I've got you guys a 10% discount. So all you have to do is type in my promo code, Kate Sharon _ true crime at checkout, and you get your discount. Thank you. Thank you very much. So you can check out their website, www.broken-society.com, and go shopping. Thank you so much for being here with me. Make sure to get cozy, grab a snack, and let's dive into another story. Okay, so today I will be talking about Ed and Lorraine Warren. We know about them, right? Let's jump in. Ed and Lorraine Warren, they were really famous for investigating the supernatural, and they were the inspiration behind many popular Hollywood movies. For example, my favorite, The Conjuring. So in 1952, they started a group called the New England Society for Psychic Research, and they also created a museum in their research center's basement, which is full of creepy objects, including Annabelle. But we'll get there. So throughout their careers, they claimed to have looked into over 10,000 cases with the help of doctors, nurses, researchers, and police. The Warrens believed that they had a special ability to understand strange and unusual things. So ever since Lorraine was 7 or 8 years old, she claimed to have been able to sense auras surrounding people. And she kept her abilities somewhat to herself because she was nervous that her parents would think that she was either insane or lying. So yeah, she kept quiet for a little bit. Ed, he was born on September the 7th, 1926, and Lorraine was born on January the 31st, 1927. So these two were American paranormal investigators and authors who worked on famous cases of supposed hauntings. Ed was a self-taught demonologist, author, and a lecturer, and Lorraine, she was a clairvoyant and a light trance medium who worked closely with her husband. So in 1970, two roommates claimed that their Raggedy Ann doll was basically possessed. They believed that she was possessed because she was running around the house and causing trouble. This is Annabelle. This is Annabelle. We all know about Annabelle, right? She was terrifying. But Annabelle from the movies and the real Annabelle, they look a little bit different. The Annabelle from the movies is way scarier. Let's just say that. But the real Annabelle, she's a Raggedy Ann doll. So yeah. So these two flatmates, they think that their doll is possessed, and they were told that it was possessed by a young girl called Annabelle Higgins. So the Warrens got word of this, and they went over. They talked to the girls, and they ended up taking the Annabelle doll. Yeah. They took it, they put it in their little, occult museum because they thought it was being controlled by a negative force. Annabelle was sealed in a glass case with a warning label that reads, "Positively, do not open. There is no way in hell I am opening that case." The Warrens said that although the doll may not appear frightening, out of everything at their museum, it's that doll is what people should be most scared of. So this creepy story has inspired several movies in the Conjuring universe, and has become a popular theme in many other films. So one of the roommates was a 28-year-old nurse who got the Raggedy Ann doll. It was basically a gift, and this was in 1968. And apparently the doll just kind of started moving around on its own. I don't know if they physically saw it moving, like walking like Chucky, but that would be scary, right? Then the nurse and her roommate started finding notes that were written on parchment paper with messages saying like, help me and help us. The girls were like, we don't even have that sort of paper at our house, so what the heck is going on? That's just weird. Then the dolls started showing up in other rooms, and apparently it was oozing blood. What would you do? You'd throw that damn doll away, right? Yeah, take it to the dump. Get rid of it. So they went to see a medium who told them that the doll was possessed by a ghost, and this ghost was a little girl called Annabelle Higgins, and they weren't sure what to do next. Like, do we keep the doll? What do we do? At that time, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they had stepped in and they reached out to the women. After looking at this doll, they quickly figured out that it was not possessed by a little girl. No, there was nothing innocent about this doll, but instead it was being controlled by some kind of inhuman presence. So more of like a demon situation, you know? So based on the Warrens' assessment, it seems like the spirit in the doll, it was actually looking for a human host. So it wanted a person, which I find strange because wouldn't it have like taken one of those nurses, like when they're sleeping or whatever? Anyway, so to keep the women safe, the Warrens, they took the doll. So apparently while they were leaving with this doll, their car's brakes, they failed like a bunch of times. And after they stopped and poured holy water all over Annabelle, they said that the car's problems just kind of stopped. And when they got back to their house, they claimed that Annabelle, the doll, was still moving around the house on her own. So she was causing a bit of mischief. That's when they put her into that glass case and said the prayer and, put that note on the glass, basically, to contain her. So visitors to the Warrens Museum said that Annabelle was still causing trouble and that she might even seek revenge on anybody who doubts her. So basically doubts her abilities or doubts that she's, any more than just a doll. According to a person who survived a motorcycle accident shortly after leaving the museum, they had been making jokes about Annabelle just before the accident had happened. The legend of the doll inspired several films in the Conjuring universe and is part of many others. Annabelle the doll hasn't moved since, but some say that her spirit has found ways to connect with our world. There was this priest, apparently, that went to the Warrens Museum back in the day, and he just basically picks Annabelle up. And apparently he was like kind of mocking her, and he wasn't taking her demonic abilities seriously. So he's basically just like, oh, you're not even that strong, whatever. And Ed was like, hey man, don't mock Annabelle because, she'll mess you up kind of situation. He didn't say those exact words, but you know what I mean. And the young priest just kind of laughed at Ed and carried on. So on his way home, this is the priest, he got into a serious car crash that wrecked his brand new car. And he said that he saw Annabelle in his rearview mirror just before the crash. Do you guys think that's a load of crap? Anyway, over the years, the Warrens kept telling these stories about Annabelle's powers, but none of these stories could actually be proven. The names of some of the people, they were never revealed, and these people were never spoken to. The nurses who were Annabelle's first victims, they never shared their story. So it would appear that all we have is the Warrens' word that any of this even took place. That's right. So after their involvement with the Annabelle case, Ed and Lorraine quickly took on other high-profile paranormal cases. Their next case was the Perron families, which is what the Conjuring was based on. So in January of 1971, the Perron family moved to a big farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. And a bunch of strange things started to happen, like right away. objects would kind of just move by themselves. Things would fly across the room. And over time, the situation was getting really, really terrifying, with the family experiencing encounters with angry spirits. It actually started with a misplaced broom, but it eventually developed into some really angry ghosts physically attacking this family. So it was said that this house had been in this family for 8 generations, and many of them died by hanging or drowning or being killed. The Warrens claimed that a ghost called Bathsheba haunted this house when the family lived there. So in reality, there was a woman, and her name was Bathsheba Sherman. She lived on the land in the 1800s, and she was rumored to be involved in a child's death, and she was believed to be a Satanist. Andrea Perron, she once said that there was a spirit in her house who acted like she was kind of the boss, and she didn't like it when Andrea's mum was there. The family also saw other ghosts in this house, and weird things happened, like their beds floating and the house smelling like death, like, rotting corpses. They also felt a scary presence in the basement that stopped them from going down there. So Lorraine Warren once said, the things that happened there were really, really frightening. Yeah. The Warrens actually visited this house quite a lot over the years while the Perron family lived there, but in reality, instead of performing an exorcism like they did in the movie, they held a seance where Carolyn Perron claimed to have been thrown across the room by ghosts and spoke in a strange language. After this, Roger, he asked the Warrens to leave and to stop investigating their home because he was concerned about his wife's mental state, and he felt like the Warrens were antagonizing the spirits. Then in the 80s, the family saved up enough money to move out, and they said that the haunting stopped right after they left. Then Ed and Lorraine Warren, they became famous for their involvement in the Amityville Horror case. So it all started when a man called Ronald Butch DeFeo Jr. had basically killed his entire family while they were sleeping in 1974, and this tragic event led to rumors of the house being haunted. Later, the Lutz family moved in. The father was George and the mother was Kathy Lutz, and they reported experiencing really strange and scary things, like seeing Kathy levitate and transform into an old lady. They said they saw a pig-like monster that scared them and slime that was coming out of the walls. Apparently, knives flew off the counters and pointed at the family, which was apparently really terrifying. Well, it would be, right, if it's real. If it's real. Can you hear the skepticism in my voice? Honestly. The family tried praying and they would hold a crucifix, but apparently nothing helped. So on the Warrens' last day at this house, they said that they heard really loud banging, that was as loud as a marching band, and they left the house after 28 days because they couldn't take it anymore. After the Lutz family moved out, Ed and Lorraine went back to the house, and they reported that Ed was thrown to the ground by an unseen force, and that Lorraine felt the presence of something evil. They also said that their team took a photo of what looked like a ghostly child on the stairs. Then in 1979, a really famous movie called The Amityville Horror was made, and it was based on this family's experience. It inspired a lot of books, movies, and theories. Even though some people don't believe it, the Lutz family did actually pass a lie detector. Yeah, I know, but I don't always trust those lie detectors anyway, so I watched way too much Jeremy Kyle. Yeah, Jeremy Kyle, good times. So I don't really believe in those lie detectors. What do you guys think? Do you believe all of this? Do you think that this whole story is, all made up by the Warrens, and anybody that, wanted to jump on their bandwagon, let me know. Then in August of 1977, the Hodgson family from Enfield, England, experienced some really strange and unexplained events at their house. They heard knocking sounds from different places and thought that somebody might be robbing their home. When the police came to check, they reportedly saw a chair that was moving on its own. Weird things started to happen in this house, like marbles and Legos seemed to sort of move on their own and even felt hot to the touch. I'm pretty sure this is the movie I watched with like Valak. Yeah. Anyway, clothes that had been neatly folded suddenly flew off tables and went all over the place. The lights flickered, furniture moved, and there were even sounds of dogs barking from empty rooms. Yeah, creepy. Then something really weird happened. A fireplace seemed to tear itself out of the wall. This caught the attention of paranormal investigators all over the world, including famous ones like Ed and Lorraine Warren. So in 1978, the Warrens believed that these strange happenings in this home were caused by a poltergeist. And I'm pretty sure this is the movie that had that old guy that was a spirit and Valak was like controlling him. Let me know if I'm wrong, but yeah, it's like a really good movie. Anyway, Ed was convinced that the events were real. However, after 2 years, the unexplained occurrences, they just kind of suddenly stopped, even though the family claims they never did anything to stop them, nor did the Warrens. So over the years, the Warrens did all of their ghost hunting and research without charging anybody. They made money from selling their books. They made money from movies. They made money from doing talks and running their museum. Ed passed away in 2006 because he had problems after having a stroke. And after that, Lorraine decided to stop doing active investigations. But until she passed away in 2019, she still helped and gave advice to the NESPR. So the Warrens' son-in-law, Tony Spirit, is now in charge of the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, and also leads NESPR, according to the Warrens' official website. So over the years, some people have criticized Ed and Lorraine Warren, saying that they were good at telling stories, but didn't have any real proof that any of this, ever existed. However, Ed and Lorraine Warren, they always stood by their belief that their experiences with ghosts and demons were genuine. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Some of the stories are very far-fetched, and I'm a realist, so I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think they made it all up just to, get some money out of some good movies? I don't know. The family involved in the Annabelle case, they didn't trust the Warrens and thought they were not truthful about their ghostly encounter. Some other families also questioned whether their own spooky experiences were genuine. And a surprising revelation was that the Amityville case was actually found to be a made-up story. So, like I said before, the Lutz family, they bought this house and then they had to move out because of all the spooky stuff that was happening there. But it turns out that people who visited this house didn't experience anything weird, like nothing at all, except for the Warrens and apparently the Lutz family. So we don't know. We don't know. Some people think the Lutz family made it all up, to make some money, and the Warrens went along with the story. But we don't know for sure. What do you guys think? Do you think that this is all made up? Let me know. The Warrens supposedly had video evidence of these spooky happenings, but they chose to keep the evidence to themselves for some mysterious reason. Like, they're being doubted. Wouldn't you expect them to, fork it over and be like, look, there it is, there's proof? They never did. Probably because it never existed. I'm going to say that. Either way, the impact of Ed and Lorraine Warren on the world of paranormal investigation is big. They turned ghost hunting from a fringe hobby into something that everyone is interested in. Like, it is fascinating, right? We kind of want to believe that, there is something after all of this. But is there? Whether their stories are real or made up, they have fascinated and scared people all over the world. Like, some of those movies are freaking terrifying, but I love them because I'm a horror buff. The Warrens' influence goes beyond whether or not their work is true. They are a big part of how we think about the supernatural. So in short, Ed and Lorraine Warren's journey through the mysterious and often creepy world of the paranormal was truly amazing. No matter what you think about their investigations, their impact is felt and it's huge. They have made a lasting impression on the field of the supernatural, right? It's true. and their stories still give people chills and make them curious. Their legacy is a big part of how we explore the paranormal, and it continues to inspire, fascinate, and scare the bejeebers out of people. Because Valak, honestly, that thing scares the crap out of me, and I think it looks like Marilyn Manson. What do you guys think? I love Marilyn Manson, and I reckon Valak and Marilyn Manson could be brothers. So I personally don't think that, this is all real. Of course, I could be wrong. What do you guys think? Let me know. Alrighty, so we're going to leave it there. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. And please don't forget to hit the like button, turn on the notifications button, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of my videos and podcasts. So if you're listening on Spotify, you can find me on YouTube. My name on YouTube is Kate Sharon True Crime. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me, and have a wonderful day. Oh, also remember, I have collaborated with Broken Society. Do check out their website, www.broken-society.com, and claim that discount I got you. Just enter Kate Sharon _True Crime at checkout.